Okay, so for anyone who wishes to understand Bloom or even implement it themselves, this article is an absolute must read. Why? Why would I need to read an article about the Bloom disasters? I don't want to read this. Bloom is a shader effect used to simulate blah 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 blah. So frequent in fact that effect has become synonymous with next-gen graphics today. I'd like to take a closer look at Bloom and what I feel is an unfortunate trend in its use. Bloom aims to recreate optical effect of the airy disk in the real world when light passes through circular blah blah blah. Who cares? In graphics processing, this effect is simulated by blurring the bright parts of the frame buffer image. In post-processing, in simpler terms, the Bloom effect is only applied to objects that have been converted into an image. Pixels. Oh my god, this guy is explaining it so badly. Bloom is just fucking glow. Holy shit. It took him this much to say Bloom is glow. Bloom is glow. Okay, relax. While it was staple, blah blah blah, who cares? Ahead of its time, many years, Bloom does not seem to use consoles until the 7th generation. PlayStation render, who cares? Who cares? Understand lighting, brightness, but HDR graphics, blah blah blah. Properly illustrate my concern about proliferation of Bloom. I'd like to show you an example of Bloom gone wrong. Yeah, this looks bad. Because everything's bloomy. The trees is bloomy, the car is bloomy, the streets are bloomy. This looks bad. This looks bad too. This looks even worse. Yeah. It's just glowy all. Everything's glowy. Hello there, Rebel Disciple. And hello there, Senatix. Oh wow. Looks, oh my god. Yeah, this is also bad because he's glowy as well. You see his hand, how it's glowing? It looks oversaturated. Yeah, might as well, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm not trying to suggest that modern graphics are insufficiently photorealistic, quite the opposite, but the drive to realism pushing the developers to add bloom as many games as they possibly can. However, as the screenshots above demonstrate, too much bloom is detrimental to realism. Yeah, okay, great. And what was this about? That bloom looks shit if done wrong? All of this text? Okay, maybe I'm being too mean. I'm sorry, I'm always being so mean, but I just don't understand, like... He writes all of this text to say bloom overdone looks bad. It's literally one sentence. Anyways, the statement cannot be stressed enough. A consistent misuse of the effect through the pre-blah blah 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 and looking at the images, it is probably not hard to understand why. Everything that is white or very bright just becomes a messy mess of light, actually hurting the eyes. Anything in close vicinity to bright areas is absorbed in a fiery explosion of brightness. Everything is just too washed out because of excessive blur. The rendering images lose contrast. Yep, because of the artificial threshold, everything above a certain level is just white. And aliasing effects, jaggies in dark areas become even more noticeable. Yo, what are we doing? We are learning bloom again. I've learned bloom in the past, now we are learning bloom again. But a little bit more correctly this time. Besides these obvious drawbacks, bloom is very difficult to get right when applied to a threshold color image. And the threshold level needs a different value depending on whether or not bloom is applied on an HDR image. Furthermore, the very bright scenes we might want a higher threshold, and for darker scenes a lower threshold. Or you just decide which object gets bloom. Oh, thank you very much for the raid, Donho. I appreciate it very much. Welcome. Hello, guys. I appreciate it, bro. On the game thing, bloom. Hello, guys. Hope you're doing good. We are learning about bloom in C++ today. Or I've learned about it in the past. But we're learning it again this time correctly in OpenGL because we are programming in OpenGL this time. Last time it was in Vulkan, which was not very easy. Besides the obvious drawbacks, bloom is also very difficult to get right. When applied to a threshold, color image, blah blah blah. And the threshold, blah blah blah. Furthermore, very bright scenes might want higher, while darker scenes might want a lower threshold, as to simulate the natural adaptation of changes in luminance that our eyes perform. That being said...
Gotcha, bitch.
Excuse me. Someone too fake. I appreciate the following, man. Thank you, sir. Very, very kind of you. Now, that being said, applying a threshold also yields problems when we are using a physically based rendering approach, as bloom in the real world is actually applied to everything.
Gotcha, bitch.
Radius 9 Bunny, thank you very much for following too. Not only bright objects. So this is where it just doesn't compute my mind. Why not just have objects that emit bloom and some don't? Why not just decide it yourself? Anyways, let's see how they solve this. The perfect lens does not exist, so even very high quality cameras, bloom effects can still be observed because light is scattered in the lens and thus blades out. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now how do we do it right? How do we do this the right way? The real way. We live in a world where everybody in the graphics industry is using, oh my god, who cares? So it makes sense from a modern perspective to compose a bloom effect which fits, oh my god, just tell me what to do. Scene with lighting applied is rendered into an HDR color buffer. To mimic how our eyes work, we do not use a color threshold, but instead downsample and blur directly on the HDR color buffer and store this result into a bloom buffer. We render a mix between the HDR color buffer and the bloom buffer, which is usually a linear interpolation with a strong bias towards the HDR color buffer. It may seem counterintuitive to bloom the entire scene and not only the bright objects, but since we are composing a bloom effect for an HDR pipeline, this is not a problem. With HDR, guys, I have one question. I have one important question, okay? I can't answer that myself. Maybe you guys know that. What does he mean by HDR?
Hello, Kack.
Hello, AQTune. Drawing into another buffer costs too much. An HDR buffer is useful for other things than bloom. What is an HDR buffer? I have a fucking image I write my textures to. What is an HDR color buffer? High dynamic range? This may seem counterintuitive. I don't see the counterintuitivity, but yeah. I guess it looks counterintuitive for some pros, but not me. Not only bright objects. Your individual color channels are 8 bits usually, 0 to 255. With HDR you have a float per color channel, for example. I'm already using floats. I'm already using them. So they're not limited to 0 to 1. Doesn't the render target have to be a float type? And what textures are you writing those fragment shader results? Okay. Yeah. Let's figure this out. Game texture. We're writing it to an sRGB8 texture. sRGB alpha. I see 8. Okay. So you're telling me that I can't do this bloom because I don't use HDR? Hello, Cakey Wakey. You have such small hands. I wonder why is that. My hands are not small, man. I have big hands. You have to change that, but why? So, like, same count. By reading this article, we can see that a very large kernel, such as 41, can be approximated quite well, applying a small kernel filter, such as 3x3. The quality of the bloom is highly dependent upon the downsampling filter, so we need to use a good one. Poorly designed filters lead to pulsating artifacts and temporal stability issues. The method that is inspired this article was presented at ACM. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Follows the recipe. Run a shader which downscales the HDR buffer containing per pixel color with light and shadows applied. This shader is run a fixed number of times continually to continually produce a smaller image each time with half resolution in both X and Y axis. We then run a small 3x3 kernel on each downsampled image and progressively upscale them until we reach A. Learn OpenGL, advanced lighting, HDR. Oh, I don't want to read all of that, man. HDR.
Newton Morgan Gigabitch.
Hello, Mr. Amida. I think I only want to touch this on 3D stuff. This looks like 3D stuff. Yeah, I don't really. I have done Bloom. I've had Bloom in Vulkan before, so we should be able to get this done without HDR. It doesn't have to be HDR. Why would it need to be HDR? I think we can do the same method, but without HDR. Think about it. Instead of setting threshold and HDR texture, you can use the old way of drawing into separate buffer. Yeah, we don't use an HDR threshold. We just decided based on a rendering option. Exactly. So we'll have this. Watch. Let me think. It is called... what is it called again? You're gonna play Palworld or continue with the mod? I'm actually gonna play Palworld. Yeah. The mod is mostly done. I have turned every single monster into aggressive mode. But the only thing I couldn't do was make them attack my buildings by default. I think it's not in the game and I don't know how to program that in. Because that would be awesome if they would just attack my buildings. Voxel-based light baking is better for bloom interpolation. That doesn't seem to make any sense. I usually use bloom whenever I want to use bloom. Like, for example, let me show you. Let me think. Yeah, I do this. Where is it? It's here. I use these rendering options that are just int bits. And I have one for bloom. So whenever bloom exists in a fragment shader, I would write to a different output texture. And that output texture is this one. Or smaller. And then we sample it down. So I think the first thing would be to create this output texture. The same size as the game texture. Oh, we need to make sure that this is the correct. Let's see how many. GL texture 4. So we need to use GL texture 5 for this. GL texture 5. Bind the all functions will modify, all future functions will modify this. And then we need to make, oh, how do we call this? Is it a bloom texture? What? Oh, Radius Bunny, you can't see this? This is what it looks like. Is there a GitHub repository? Yeah, my engine that I'm working on right now, it's like an extension, but this is the base. Nope, I can't see that. Yeah, this is emotes for Twitch chat that you get through a browser extension called Funker Faces or Better Twitch TV or 7TV. That's why it looks so weird for you. And also, you know, all of these other looking and dolphin. I guess you probably see dolphin, but you don't see that. You don't see this. But that's why I have above me the Twitch chat, so that most people can still see it.
Hi.
Hello, Aizen. Welcome. Hope you're doing good, Aizen. Good morning. Oh. Hello. This is bloom. Bloom texture. Let's first make it so that some stuff writes into this texture. That would be the first one. So we generate one texture using the bloom texture ID. We set that here too. And I think... I wonder what type of texture he is creating. He shows the shader, but you're supposed to show the OpenGL code first before you show the shader code. Because what you create first is the shader, the texture. There we go. A 2D texture that is GLR11F. We are downscaling. Oh, wait. So probably I have to use the same. Alright. Hi, Cakez. Hey, No Skill Gamer. How's it going, bro? Long time no see. I think we use the same. And unfortunately, I don't remember how I did it in Vulkan, but I think we did the same. Is it a 2D engine? Yes, that's a 2D engine, exactly. Are you still using Godot? No, Ghostan, I stopped using Godot to develop games at the moment because I was not having fun. In case you're wondering why, I can give you some context if you're really interested. Let me show you. I don't want to leak DMs, but I'll give you a link. Yeah, for anyone that is interested why I'm not doing Godot anymore, that is the reason. Click on it. There we go. Like, it takes about 3 minutes to understand, maybe 5 minutes of watching to understand why. Godot bad? Godot is not bad. I didn't say that. Nor do I think that. Just, it's not for me.
Uh-oh. What happened to penis?
Hey boys, hey Push, my man. How's it going, bro? Is the engine cross-platform? The engine can support Linux. Should support Linux. Mac is also supported. But I haven't done a video on that and I haven't tested it myself. But Prodigy Art made a Mac port as well for the engine. But I did say that. You didn't like it, thus it's bad. No. I just can't deal with the UI of Godot. That's simple. That's all. I don't want to deal with the UI of Godot. So it generates a 2D texture of this type. And we are going to generate a texture of the typical type. Which is this right here. Nearest, I think, should be fine. Alright, I think we now have a bloom texture. Let's see if that works. And then in the fragment shader, we want to add another layout. 5, which is a uniform sampler 2D bloom image. No, wait, that's an output. We need an output location. That is different. Someone subscribed on YouTube, thank you. We need an output. How do we do that again? How did I change two outputs? I also did the light map thing. How did I do this in... How did I do this in my Vulkan engine? I forgot. But I still have the shaders. So you see that? Bloom final. Bloom final. Bloom final. It's an output bloom color. I wonder how I did this. Bloom composition. It's all of the bloom images together. He forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Demo date? I don't know yet. The engines is open source, you can fix it? Yeah, that one triggered me the most. Like, I'm there to make a game in Godot, and then someone tells me to fix the fucking engine. Like, no, go fuck yourself. I'm not fixing the engine, I want to make a game. I don't want to program an engine. I'm using an engine, not programming an engine. Will you still continue developing your game in another engine? It was a unique game idea. I'm thinking about remaking it in C++, yeah. Not sure if I will. We'll see. Could be a cool idea. Or maybe Zig even. Or maybe some other language. We'll see. Depending on how easy it is in another language to get stuff done, right? Was it unique? Yeah, it was unique. How did I do this again? Ah! Aha, compiling the shaders with a definition of bloom. I see. When the shaders are compiled, they are either bloom shaders or not. But that's a bit odd, isn't it? Rendering option font. Rendering option repeat. Guys, can I have 2 outputs? Is it possible to have 2 outputs? It is, right? Of course. All right. Perlin noise, linear filtering, Perlin magic, pre-multiply, bloom. Otherwise the bloom color is 0. I think so. Now, what I couldn't deal with was... Okay, we'll try. So... I don't know what location I'm supposed to do here. Because we need 2 frame buffers, don't we? Or is it location 1? Out vector 4, bloom, color. Maybe this. From the normal one. And then in the GL renderer. We generate a texture. We don't activate one. I guess we do. We need to activate it here. Can you react to Dreambird? It's a programming language. Check it this GitHub. I can do that later, maybe, yeah. We wanna fix this first here. Sure, bro. Now, I wonder if it's really funny or if it's just like some people like it funny. You know, what I find funny is just people getting hurt, falling down, or, you know, just getting hit somewhere, you know. It's called Schadenfreude in German. Now that's funny to me. That is peak entertainment. You know? Should do a challenge where I put water into my mouth and try not to laugh. And then I only have to watch people falling down or something. Laughing just thinking about it. Oh, this is great, yeah. Kind of like watching Cakez and Godot GUI, people getting hurt. That's exactly what the programming language is supposed to be. I find it funny watching game devs fail projects. Okay, bro, yeah, sure. Sure, brother. Fuck you. Okay, we have this bloom texture. I just don't know what to do with it yet. It is all dependent on the frame buffer. There we go. Def attachment. List of draw buffers. There it is. Color attachment 0. And GL color attachment 1. See? We just need to use our brain and then it just works. If I can spell correctly. This is so much easier than Vulkan. Okay, so we set the bloom texture ID as the output 1 and the game texture ID as the output 0. And then we add both of those attachments to the draw buffer and then we set that draw buffer. So that means whenever we use the game texture now, we can write to bloom. Now, I want to do that as in here as well. So, for example, if we have a rendering option, if, let's put myself to the right and the text as well, so you guys can read, follow along. So if we have a boolean where rendering options and rendering option bloom, if we render to bloom, then I don't want to output to the fragment color. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with fragment color, but the bloom color is supposed to be texture color times material.color plus material.additive color. And then the fragment color, I don't know. I guess it's a vector 4 of 0. I don't know if I can discard the fragment color, right? And vice versa. I think this one didn't work. That's why I didn't do it, right? I remember I tried this in OpenGL, not in OpenGL, in Vulkan, oops. I remember trying this in Vulkan and it didn't work. And what I mean by it didn't work is I had black boxes in either one of those images. You can't discard. What happens when you exit with discard? If I discard, then it discards both pixels. So essentially, if I write to the bloom color and then I say discard, the discard happens before I write to bloom color. Because all of this is parallelized. It's parallelized. So all of this happens at the same time. I can't just discard. You always have to output both, yeah. If I discard, then it doesn't write any data. Alright, let's see. Now it should just work because I don't have bloom. Yeah, so see, it just works at the moment. But for example, let's just draw a quad in the level. Parallelized. Okay, bro. Right, let's just draw a simple dude. Let me put myself to the left again. No, maybe actually that works. Can you do a video on your YouTube where you code a game in Python and you only have like 10 days? In Python, you say, only have 10 days. That seems like an awful lot of tool. I subscribe to your YouTube. Thank you, Rob or Onion. That sounds like an awful long time, man. If that is 10, listen, 10, that is 40 hours. Let's say I do this every day, 10 days, 40 fucking hours, man. I would probably make a smaller game. Make a game in 2 hours, 2 days. Python, you say, he loves Python. I don't like Python, actually. Let's go! Whoa! Okay. Yes! A debug section, there we go. Let's put it in here. We draw a quad. Let's say that is, we draw a sprite, sorry. No, we draw a sprite. Yeah, relax. Okay, sprite, glow. Right? We do glow. And put it on 10, 50. Start with this. This is just a simple glow. Will be like a white. Yeah, because it's not transparent. Let's not put it on 10, but let's say 50. 50, 50. Right? 50, 50, 50 cent. And then we do rendering option. Render options is transparent. right? We make it transparent. Now it's transparent. Huh? Okay, wait. I forgot a closing brace. Now it's transparent. Without the K. You see that? Transparent. Thank you very much for subscribing to YouTube, brother. Have you implemented hot reloading? Yeah, I'm hot reloading my game so I can do changes while it's running. Very important to me. Makes iterations a lot easier. Now this glow or rendering or transparency. Okay, nice. Now what happens if we do this? What if we instead write it bloom? What if instead we write it to the bloom texture? It should disappear. And it's black. See, this is the issue that I have. That's the big problem. Because I'm writing black. I'm writing this. That's the issue. And I can't just say fragment color is fragment color. I don't think that works. Yeah, it gives me an error. It tells me what is the shader, what is the output. Terminal. Give me the output. Failed to load. Shader, yeah. Failed to create shaders, yeah, why? Don't I output the errors? Huh? Don't I output the shaders? I guess it just worked, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Fragment color is fragment color. So what am I supposed to do here? Alright. If I'm rendering bloom, what am I supposed to do with fragment color? It is black. Right, and if I delete this, nothing happens. If I say, okay, well, this is a white, then it's white. Right, so what am I supposed to do? I don't think I can multiply. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't accept this operation. You see this? So what am I supposed to do? Can't you just calculate the fragment color again? Time to add a second color. You can multiply manually. Multiply manually with what? Oh, I know how. I know how. I actually know how. Like this. We always write here. We always write. We write to the bloom texture and to the fragment texture. Of course, we want to write it to our game. We want to see it in the game, but we also would like to add a bloom effect. So we need to write it to the bloom texture as well. So very simple, actually. Yeah, we do an and. And then we can do this. We can add those together. So for example, we could do transparent and bloom. I love this. You know, this is why I created my own engine. Endless possibilities, guys. Endless possibilities. Awesome. And you can see it, of course. There we go. We have the dot in here. And if we open this up in render doc now. We should be able to press F12. And then have 2 outputs. Brain is the only blocker. Endless possibilities, yeah, it's great. Color pass, let's see. Texture viewer. There we go, this one right here. It outputs to... Oh, texture 63, frame buffer 1. Oh wow, look at this, guys. This is the bloom texture. We have everything in the bloom texture here. It's frame buffer 1. Good. Yeah, I mean, I knew the stars would write to it because I let the stars write to it because I wanted to have I wanted the stars to have bloom too. Okay. Let me think now. Stars and fire all seems good. Yeah, and this one as well. Okay, so now... Next would be to implement... this one right here. Bloop, 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 bloop. All the way down to a certain number of iterations. Downsampling. Now that we have the algorithm in place, which algorithm are we talking about? You didn't explain anything. You just said that you downsample. You should say now that we have the overview in place, we need to actually define the algorithm. Whatever, let's just relax. Okay, so we need a shader that is a vector 3 out or vector 4 out with downscale. The fragment shader. Oh god, look at all of these texture operations from the source texture. Source resolution. This article is open source, you can send a null request. Alright, let's just take the shader. Should work. Right, it should just work, correct? And this is upsampling, we need that later as well. Yoink, of course. Why wouldn't we yoink? If it works, right? Okay, okay, now we have downsample. Let's make a new one. New file. Up sample bloom.frag. Put that upsample shader. Where's that? This shader performs upsampling. Okay, let's take that too. Yoink. And I think we can just do version 460, right? Oh, we need to get rid of the version. Awesome. When is we giving back? We don't need 3 minutes later giving back. Why? Unlicensed public source code point of view. Guys. He wrote this as a tutorial to learn how to make bloom. Okay, bro? So, not sure what you're on about. Next is probably going to be the most annoying. We need to create a bunch of textures. Yeah, I know how to do the position myself. Thank you very much. Actually, we probably need this as well, yeah. Layout location in vector 2. Texture coordinate. Vertex shader. Full screen quad. I already have a full screen quad. yoinking little jokes. Writing the program. Okay, there we go. Oh god, like why do you create a bunch of classes and structs and bullets? You should just give me the OpenGL code, bro. Just give me the stupid fucking OpenGL code. Okay, so this is where he generates what is the MIP chain length? Bloom MIP. Not sure what that means. Because it's his own type. What is a Bloom MIP? Why are there classes? Nobody would ever believe I wrote this. No, it has nothing to do with this. When you're trying to make a tutorial, why do you create a bunch of structs that you think should be created instead of focusing on the code that needs to be written in order to achieve the task? Why do you have to create a construct that has nothing to do with the problem? A collection of data or functions that has absolutely nothing to do with the problem, but it's just an organizational thing for yourself that has absolutely nothing of value for you, the learner, other than for the encapsulation. But why? The task is create. Let's see. The task is the following. I'll show you. The task is the following. Create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images. Give them a certain... Where is it? Give them a certain format and size. Do that probably in a loop. But you also need an ID. You just don't like it? I think it just takes away, man. I think it takes away from what we actually need to do. Anyways, let's just do it. We have, how many chains do we create? I think we create 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we create 4, including the main image. I don't like it because it is too much information that is not necessary in order to finish the task. Yes. That is my own opinion. Bloom textures. So this time we create a loop. I don't know about this. I have to be careful here. Okay. Now we need a bunch of texture IDs. For that we need probably an array. How about we make just an IDs array of 4? We do it like this: texture IDs, texture EDX. And then I guess I'll put it here. It's fine. Texture IDs. Now we need the size. Guys, is this 2 to the power of texture index? Can you see this? Is this correct? I want to basically do 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, stuff like that. Is that how it works? Is this the power function that I know from math? You guys know to the power of these nuts? Guys, tell me please. Do you know this or not? Would be very helpful if you could tell me. Please. Texture 5 plus texture edx. Or is this not a... Also, yes. Hello, Jova. How's it going, man? Long time no see. Hope you're doing good, man. Welcome, bro. Hope your job is fine. You're doing good, man. What are these numbers? Looks like they all... I can just add 1 on top of each of these, right? And it will just work. So I can just do this. He never says... that to me. Hi, hello. Hello, Christ. Hope you're doing good, man. Hope your job is doing fine and hope you have a nice day, bro. Thank you for joining. My man. Use bit shift is faster than power. Like this. 2 bit shifted. No, wait. 1 bit shifted by texture. So we bit shifted 0 times. We divide by 1. We bit shift 1 to the left 1 time. We get 2. We bit shift 1 to the left 2 times, we get 4. Right? Okay, good idea. I love these nerds in chat, you know? Easy maths. Yeah, Maelstrom. All of these nerds in chat are really good. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay, cool. Nice. Now that we have this, it's complaining somewhere. Of course. So we set the texture ID 0 as the bloom attachment. Built, and it should still give us the correct result. However, now we should have a bunch of textures that are much, much smaller as well. Nerd power, we're nerds and we're proud. True, 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 true. Many cuties in chat. It was still running. It was still running. Okay, guys. Had nothing to do with this. It was still running. Okay, guys. He means me. There we go. It still works. Okay, we still have the exact same program. However, we don't. We don't. That's the key thing here. We don't, because we are still writing into the bloom buffer. Okay. Now, the next thing will be another program that runs on the Bloom image and uses the two shaders. So we need to create another program in GL init. There we go. We need to create a program here. And I suppose we need a timestamp for this as well. He has such small hands. My hands are not small, bro. I don't know what impression you have. My hands are definitely not small. Lightmare program. Post-processing. Let's try the Bloom here. Bloom program. Bloom program. Okay, so we need two shader stamps. Timestamps. And they are called upsample. These are fragment shaders though. These are actually fragment shaders. Post-processing vertex shader. What is the post-processing vertex shader? It's literally a full screen quad. So this is a full screen quad. That's what we need to do. Wave UVs. Okay, so for Bloom we do the same thing. We do post-processing. It's a bad name because it's not post-processing really. But okay. Timestamp vert, timestamp frag, and then we have trail shader. We have Bloom shader timestamp. Hello there, Ashnops, my man. How's it going, brother? My man, you're joining into Bloom development, and we are getting somewhere today. Much faster than in Vulkan. Hell yeah. How long have I been streaming for, and how much progress have we made? 1 hour. 1 hour, and we are already this far into the Bloom land. Good. We need another program ID for Bloom rendering. Oops. All right. Okay, post-processing. And upsample. No, it's downsample. Bloom. And here too. Okay, so Bloom downsample program. We start very small. We have just a downsampling. And what is this? Uniforms. I don't think we need uniforms yet. Actually, I think we do. Because we need the screen size or the current size, right? For downsampling, we need a source resolution. And we need a texture. But we'll be able to bind that, that's fine. Texture coordinates, vector 2. Are these coordinates? Or UVs? Are these actually coordinates or UVs? Because UVs don't really work with this. Looks like I have to change my shader. Or we just yoink it from here. We could just take this. Texture coordinates. Oh my god, really? Why would UVs not work with that? He adds one texture size in UV terms. But he uses the texture coordinates, right? Or like texture coordinates, to me texture coordinates is 0, 0 is top left, then 1, 1 is the first one in the middle diagonally, 2, 2 is, you know, the second one diagonally, stuff like that. Sounds like texture coordinates and not texture UVs, you know? Well. Which I don't know, man. He doesn't specifically state. See, like he says, with a 3x3 kernel around the current pixel, using B4 as a radius. So, to me, this looks like he's using integer values here. Which is, you know, 2 times x plus 2 times y. Texture coordinate. If you... It doesn't really work. Let's see, 1 divided by screen resolution gives us the texel size. So that is, look at source texel size. Yeah. But x is defined as a fraction above. Oh, so you mean this is UVs? These are UVs, and I should be fine? 0 to 1 range. Okay, we could try. And hello there, Curso. How you doing, bro? Fine, we'll try. This should be called UVs then. Fine, we'll leave it like this. Takes too long to change it now. What are we working on? What is being working on? We are trying to make Bloom work into our game. And we're currently working on downsampling Bloom so that we can have a much more well, blurry effect that looks really blurry, not pixel arty. Lol, find plus replace. Yeah, I know. I could do that. Let me think. All right, let me double check. What am I supposed to do here? We need one uniform. We need the source size, right? Source resolution ID. You know, guys, I've missed programming. I like it. I really like it. It's great. Awesome. We have this now. Source resolution. And not the traits program ID, but the Bloom program ID. That is using post-processing and downsampling Bloom. Alright, now we need to do a for loop, probably, in the game. now we should have everything needed for Bloom to be used. The only thing we need to do in the rendering function is whenever our programs have been running, before the post-processing, even before the light or after the light map, I think it doesn't matter, Bloom. What we need to do here is a for loop. And I think this is where we create a constant. Because I want to use the that as a handle. MIP level or MIP level. Let's call it Bloom MIP count, I guess. Bloom MIP levels. Okay. Where's this for loop? In GL init. He's back for you. He's back, boys. Who's back, boys? Downsample program. Yeah. Where's the for loop for the textures? Am I blind? Ah, there we go. And I guess we can call this MIP level as well. There we go. Makes it cooler. Alright, now that we have the Bloom program and the MIP levels, we can now begin to... I don't know exactly what we're supposed to do. It doesn't... maybe it states here. Upsampling, version, this is the shaders, Bloom... For generate textures, generate frame buffer. Okay, Bloom destroy. Who cares about destroying? Bloom render. Oh god, just give me the fucking code. Shader, downsample, use, deactivate. Oh my god, what is this, man? Just show me the fucking blue OpenGL code, man. There we go. For every MIP in the MIP chain, set the viewport to the size, set the frame buffer. Oh, we need to activate a frame buffer. Then we need to bind, don't do that. We draw arrays. We bind, okay, we don't do that. And then we set a vector 2. And we bind the texture. Shouldn't we bind the texture first? Yeah, so we bind the texture. We set the viewport and frame buffer. Then we draw. And oh, we need to set the resolution first. Source resolution. Okay. It's a little bit out of order, but that's what we need to do. And then upsample comes next. But first downsample. Alright, so how do we begin? We have the for loop already. Let's keep the comments here. I like it. Looks like I'm writing comments. It's awesome. Alright, so the active texture is texture 5 plus MIP level. That is different for us. And then we bind our first texture, which is GL context, Bloom textures on MIP level. Anyone got a clue how to transform 3 points into a quaternion? Should be easy, but I'm struggling. That sounds difficult. Map chain, we don't need that. We need to set the viewport. What is all of this? Go away. Okay, so we need to set the vector 2 on the shader. Oh god. How do we do this again? GL set vector 2. No, GL. Guys, how do I set this again? See, this is exactly why I don't like these types of tutorials. They create functions who are wrapper functions for themselves, but then you're copying the code or you're looking at the code and you have to understand that this is a wrapper function for this guy. He created it for this particular tutorial, so you have to look up the wrapper function to actually find the function that is actually used to set it, you know? It's really annoying. It is called... For convenience, yeah, for the convenience of the tutorial writer, but for the inconvenience of the tutorial user. Me. Come on, I forgot. What was it? Yeah, GL uniform, okay, I remember almost. GL uniform. We have one float, we have two floats. Right? It's a two float vector, right? Two float vector. Java or Kotlin, or for Android, Java or Go for backend. C for Android, C for Apple. Yeah, the only water that you can't say no to. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Amida. You have to say yes to yeah. I drank a lot of vodka this weekend. Oh man, bruh. So location and... guys, it is a two float vector, right? This is the correct one. We are setting a two float vector, which is vector 2. SRC size. Source size, which would be... our game texture size divided by MIP level, or let's say, yeah, divided by MIP level and the bit shift, right? So 1 bit shifted to the left by MIP level. Man, I feel like a fucking hacker when I do this. I feel so cool. Guys, do you feel cool sometimes when you're programming? And you're writing some crazy stuff? You're like, damn, bro, I'm fucking good. Always. Now that's the spirit. Awesome. Now, what was that again? GL context dot bloom source resolution. I guess float source size dot x as a pointer. Do you know bullet ball? No. What is this? And I sniff my own farts. I suck myself out constantly. Most of the time, I feel stupid. Are you streaming on Twitch TV? Are you sure? Super cool, man. You're having fun, are you? Very nice. Okay, we don't bind a vertex array because we don't have one. We draw arrays. Now, what about this? Oh, I see. The texture, yeah. Frame buffer texture ID. Wait. Shouldn't it be +1? Shouldn't it be +1 here? Shouldn't it be this? The frame buffer uses color attachment 0 because we are setting the... Wait, I'm confused. We are binding a texture. Wait. I'm confused. Frame buffer, this is the output, right? And we are binding this active texture here to read from. And this is the output. The output needs to be +1 in the chain. And the current texture to read from is the current in the chain. And then we set the uniform here. Why are you complaining about this, by the way? Are you stupid? No matching function call. Requires 3 arguments. Really? It requires location count. Really? Mr. Streamer, could you explain pointers and references? How do you understand them? Oh, sure I can, yeah. I'll explain in a second, okay? Set the current MIP. As texture input. Sorry. Oh, that was good. Now, I'm pretty sure I misused something. Let's see if this works. Let's run it real quick. If it doesn't crash, then I'm happy. Probably will crash. Why are you not crashing? The active and bind texture were outside the for loop on the tutorial. Yeah, but that was wrong in my case. In their case it was right, but in my case it was wrong. Because in my case... Oh God, what is this? In my case, I'm drawing the game here. And while I'm drawing the game, I'm filling in the first texture already. And then once I get to Bloom, this texture right here in the first level is already filled with data. Now I need to use that as a texture. That's what I'm doing here. I'm binding and activating the texture. And I'm filling in the next texture as a frame buffer here. And then I draw. And I need to upload the data before, actually. This is really important. So I set the data. And then I draw. And then I repeat the chain. Are you married? Yes, I'm married. Alright, this is the correct way. Okay, so you want to know about pointers and references. Okay, so first you have to understand a pointer is just an array index. Okay, whenever you see pointer, you think of an index into an array. Okay, that is the best way to describe one. So if you think about memory on your computer, you can say that a pointer is just an index into this ginormous block of memory on your computer. So for example, if you have 4,700,076, that is that index based on some sort of block of memory that you have. Okay, and so that is why you can never use the index 0, because on the index 0, the null pointer is actually data that is related, I don't know exactly, let's say to the system, the operating system, something like that, that you're not supposed to access to. So the null pointer is always one you don't use. Okay? Okay, and now that you know what a pointer is, The problem with pointers that people often have is that you can change them. So what does that mean? Well, you can have a pointer to a memory location, which means an array index. And if you do +1, you are indexing into a different index now, right? You can set the pointer to null. You could set the pointer to 10, to 12, to 11. You can change it. And that pointer could point to anything, right? It could be corrupted data, it could not be. And so people don't like that. So they decided to use references because you cannot change a reference once it is set. It is literally the same thing. A reference is just a pointer into a memory location with the exception that you can't change it, if that makes sense, okay? So whenever you have a reference to an integer value that is an array indexed into a memory array, taking up 4 slots after the index, that converts into an integer. And the references, when let's say you have a function, can I do that even here?
Master M. The calculations are in and M. The powers of your brain are overwhelming.
So you could have like a struct, some data. Cakez, what is the advantage? Why can't I use the actual value instead of the reference to that value? So why can't you use the actual value? Say MBMB, thank you very much for following. If you use the value, let's say you have a function void test, right? And you have a function, let's say, let me think real quick. I think it's best to look at an example in my game. I have a good example in my game. Very nice here. So I have a function in which I update and draw my projectiles in the game. That could be arrows, that could be fireballs, whatever a projectile would be, you know. And so I'm going over these projectiles and I'm storing this projectile as a reference on the stack, right? So this is literally just a pointer into an array, right? Where I'm changing the data directly in this array. And now why do I use a reference and not a copy? Well, you heard it right now. It is a copy. So if I make changes to this projectile, I'm not making changes to the array. So for example, let's say this projectile flies in one direction and I advance into that direction by 10 pixels. If I do this on the copy and then I look at the next projectile, the changes that I made are gone. Or I would have to change the copy and then take the data from the copy and copy everything back into the array. And that means I have to take data from one location in memory, copy that over into the stack. That takes time and effort. And then once I have the data on the stack, it's right here. I can work on it, change the data, and then copy that back into the array. That is 2 copy operations. And even if you don't do that, you forget it, you will never see the results of your changes in game. Because you're changing copies and you forgot to write the data back. That's why you use references, for example, because you're changing the data directly in the array and you don't have to do game state projectiles projectile index dot speed, for example. You don't have to like write all of this every time. You just write this projectile dot speed. What does SR do? SR is song request. And you're just iterating over existing values and change them. That's the point. Yeah, in this case, yes. In this case, I'm just changing existing values. But I can also do something like the following. Let's see. Let me find it. It's gotta be here somewhere, right? maybe like this. So for example, right here, I'm supplying this array as a reference to this function contains ID. So for example, I have an array of IDs in my game. So for one use case that would be is when I have an attack in the game that is an area of effect attack and it is visible for multiple frames at a time, right? Just think about, let's say, Elden Ring, and you have your sword slash, right? Your sword is animated and you swing through the air. And while you are swinging one opponent, you hit that opponent, you two colliders collide, right? They overlap, and then you deal damage on that enemy. But you need to store that you actually hit the enemy. Otherwise, in the next frame, you're going to hit the enemy again and again and again and again, which makes this ability overpowered the more frames per second you have, right? So you need to store data on which enemy you have hit if you have such effects and attacks. Okay. And so I have this array in which I store these unit IDs, and these are usually IDs that I store when I hit someone. And I supply the, oops, what the fuck? I supply these as a pointer, or in this case a reference, but a pointer would be okay too. And the reason why I do that here is because this array can get very long. And if this array is very long and I'm calling this function, I need to copy all of these IDs into a new piece of memory just so I can use these IDs in this function. And it's easier for me to just supply them as a reference. And, you know, C++ connoisseurs would, you know, do a const array here, right? Say that we don't change that. But I would have to change too many functions for this then to const. Like, for example, oh no, the operator here is const and stuff like that. So I just don't use const, whatever. So the main idea behind this is to directly access memory instead of overwriting. Yeah. It is to directly access and change memory. Pointers and references are usually used to change memory. Exactly. And in C, you would use pointers or real values if you... Please know the song randomly came to mind yesterday. The reason why it came to mind is because Shade11 played it the day before, a couple of days before. Boom! You got that now? Now go and make a game, bitch! Let's go! Okay.
Gotcha, bitch.
Good luck! Okay. Guys, I wanna play They Are Billions on 2000%. You know? I saw a stream of someone playing that. It was so difficult. I need to play it too. But we play Palworld first. And then Last Epoch on Wednesday. Last Epoch! Oh, I still have to buy it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, we wanted to test if it works. Okay, so we literally just copied code from learnopengl.com. Invalid component count. Uh-oh. What is this? What is this? We didn't get this before. Mip level, I thought so. See, oh, I see it's two components, I see. So it is two float components, right? A two float vector, and I have to say two? Really? Guys. Sounds strange. If it is the name of the function. If it's in the name. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong. Fuck, man, I knew how to do this before, but I forgot. It's so long. See that? Matrix 4 float vector. One matrix. And I just pass in the first value of the matrix. So if I uniform a 2 float vector, uniform 2 float vector. It's 1. Huh? You put 2 in? Yeah, because I had 1 in before and it was wrong. I don't understand. Huh? Invalid component count. I don't understand. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm stuck with uploading a fucking float to the fucking... No! No, we're not listening to this! Please!
I don't want to be like Cakez.
Is it used in the shader? Yeah. Wait. Wait. Give me seconds. Hello, Genuss Nymphicus. How are you doing, man? I get nothing back. I get nothing back. I get a... Okay, it's creating this. Then why not? Is this location correct? It's not, right? -1 is wrong, so 0 is correct. Aizen? I think so. Okay. No, I'm assuming that it works then. Because this is the only location we have. I still get invalid operation though. A stack index should start with -1. It's not a stack, it is a vector 2 in a shader. Also, give me a second. We need to change this. Hell yeah. Are you streaming on a Raspberry Pi? No, why? Oh, this is supposed to be fuck. I can't set the bindings correctly. I see. So they all need to be bound to 5 then. Which means in the GL renderer, here we can only do level 5. We bind it to level 5. That's fine. It's okay. What means 5 here? It is like a slot for textures. Let's say you have 2 textures on the GPU. You want to read from one texture. It's the best way I can explain it is with font. Let's say you have a font in your game and you don't use signed distance fields, which is an entirely different thing. But let's say you have fonts in your game and you would like to have an outline in your font. And you can do that by generating the font again with, let's say free type that you use. That is a little bit bigger than the original font that acts as an outline for the font. So you have your normal font and then the outline font both in different textures, in 2 textures. And so you can use these 2 textures to generate the outline first and then the font on top, right? The outline here and the font on top. That's how you could do, and that's how I do it, outlines in games, right? Outlined text. And so in order to know which texture is which and goes where, the first texture can use some sort of index 0, which you can set in the shader or in OpenGL as well. That looks something like this. This is my, wait, actually it's here. This is my first texture index, and it is the texture atlas. If I now upload something in OpenGL to this index, it will be, the data will be present in here, in the binding 0. Okay. And so I'm just organizing these things by hand, so that index 0 is always my texture atlas, index 1 is always my font atlas, index 4 is always the outline atlas, and then I have something on 2 and 3 that I forgot right now. I think it has to do with lighting, and now that I add bloom into the game, 5 will be reserved for bloom. And I just remember this because it's easier for me to remember these indices at the top of my head than to have like a generic list that changes depending on what I have. Yeah, and so basically that is why I'm using 5 here. But we have a problem of setting this stupid uniform. These are all vector 4s for now. It's easier for me. output, and then we have input buffers and textures are here. I like to sort this a little bit better. Input buffers. I like to sort it like this. It's a little bit easier for me to read. So yeah, I'm currently struggling with the fact that I can't set this stupid uniform, which is the easiest thing to do in OpenGL. It is literally the first thing that you learn. Unfortunately, I forgot how to do it. It is a stupid error, guys. It's very simple. Once we find out what it is, we will all be laughing. It's like, ha, 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 ha. God damn it! You'll be laughing, right, guys? Shut the fuck up. Are you binding the correct program before setting the uniform? Yeah, it tells me incorrect components. We can do that. Wait, give me a second. Where's Bloom? Render to game texture. Copy transforms. Sort layer. Lights. UI. Light map. Post processing. Wait a second. Where's Bloom? Wait a second. Where's Bloom? Am I blind? What the fuck? Bloom program. Wait, I think I'm not... Oh yeah, you're right. I'm not binding the program. And these programs are just for... oh my god, these programs... Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Fuck, man. Thank you. Let's go! Okay, cool. At least that is nice now. That should work. It should work. You can see through my shirt. No, you can't. This filter is really good. I like it a lot. It's really good. Right? God, this fucking headset is beep beep. Beep beep. Beep beep. Beep beep. Fine. Look at the white black margin, you mean here? That's because of the, whatever that's called. Okay, at least I wanna start, man. I need to go to the bathroom. Fuck. I wanna start. Come on, please. Did we do everything correctly? Disable dev test. I guess we disable the. Do we disable the dev test for Bloom program? Yeah. We don't. We disable dev test. That's fine. I think we disable dev test. And blending, I don't know. I think we want to disable that. Not sure about this though. He doesn't state that in the article. Okay, please work. Please, 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 please. I really need to go to the bathroom. Come on. Please. Wait, undefined variable source texture. But it's here. I'm going to the bathroom. Fuck you, bitch. Assignment of incomplete types. Let's see here. Source texture. It doesn't seem to find the source texture. Undefined variable, which is a bit odd. Not sure why. But we'll pinpoint the exact location. There's more. Oh, I see. Expected is semicolon. I think I missed a semicolon here somewhere, guys. Not sure where. Downsample, fragment shader, error, syntax error. Unexpected semicolon, expecting an opening brace. Really? Funka faces ruin my life, really? Why? Aha. There we go. There we go. Song name. You can do exclamation mark song. I have lost my faith in humanity. A customer called us because he wanted to buy a charger for something. I told him he should mail us. He sent us a dick pic with his address and everything else asked. You know, guys, this guy's working in Turkey. He's working in Turkey. Which is making it even worse. You know? Oh my god. That is amazing, bro. For a German company, it was a German. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Oh man. I guess he got pissed. Here's a little tip for you. Oh man, that's great. Oh, that's so awesome. It was a 1-minute call. I can't even. Oh man. Ouch. My head hurts a little bit. Goodness. Did you fix it? We'll see now. No. Oh yeah, wait. I fixed it now. Watch. It's fixed. 100%. Just need to wait for it to build. Yeah, there we go. And 213 error. Oh, and there's a lot of source. Or is it just this error? Oh, great. I hate this terminal from this because clear. Please. If I click clear. Guys, if I do clear, it still shows me all of the errors up here. This is typical Visual Studio Code. Clear. Scroll up. Now let's pretend that the 192 source texture, you can disable this? Really? Why is it not disabled by default? Why is it shit by default? How can I do that? Don? Don't use VS Code? Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you for getting my hopes up, man. Guys, I need to... What are we listening to? Hey! Error assignment of incomplete types. 213. Shader header is 148 lines. 148 lines. So 230 minus 148. 213. Minus 48, 148, that's 65. Line 65 in the shader. I'm pretty sure it's this assignment here, yeah. It doesn't know E, I think. Or, what is downsample? Is this the output? Vector 4. What is E? E is the current texel. E is a vector 3. Okay, so we have to turn all of these into vector 4s. Try using reset in the console. I could try. What's going on? The white box above your head? Oh, this is just my game not being able to start. The white box is just something I draw as a debug box. It's not really important. It's the game. Look, it's gone now. And the background could be... The background is white here because I'm looking at OpenGL tutorial and it's just white. We could put, I don't know. Let's put this here. Maybe that's better on the eyes. You like that more? Is that better? When is the face reveal? Hey? Like, isn't Radius Bunny a new person in chat today? Isn't it your first time in chat, Radius Bunny, today? You follow today, right? What is wrong with you? Here is ignored. Cakes. In your sources area, you have a header. And then the actual source code, if you add \line after the header and before the source, it should help with that error line number. What? If you add one line after the header and before the source code. Really? Damn, this is a good song. Shade11, go fuck yourself. GL create program, you mean? No, wait, it's shader create.
Hello, Cakez.
Oh, well, my man. What gets up? Hello there. How's it going, bro? Like this? After the header? It should just work. Cause I programmed it in a good way. Maybe? Yeah? Let's go! Let's try. Why is this background not gone? What project is this? This is a tower defense game written entirely in C++ based on my own engine that you can find right here. I've made a tutorial series on how to make an engine in C++ and we are currently working on Bloom. At least I'm working on Bloom in my own engine. ETA 7 years. Can you render a big blue ball instead of an orange? For like 10 minutes for a sub. A big blue ball instead of an orange. Instead of an orange. Where the orange stands? Like just in the middle of the screen or something? For a sub? Yeah, sure, why not? Aha, so this piece of code is making it break.
Gotcha, bitch!
We are using the program here. Processing program. Thank you very much for following, Doodly. Like the orange, the player orange? You mean this one in blue? And in big or something? What do you mean? Yeah, in blue and big? Sure, sure, okay. I'll do anything for money, sure, okay. Alright, let's see. Is he animated? Yes. Now I'm holding you onto it, right? Anything? I mean, you know, a couple of things. All right. You like this blue here? Is that good? This blue is good? No? This one's better here? Just the blue solid color? No orange? Only blue? So you mean this? Wait. Make a GL circle? Oh, I can't make a GL circle, so I can't make it, bro. Unfortunately. I cannot make a blue circle. I have to draw one. I've not implemented that feature again. I never needed circles. -1's up? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, okay. Well, then we go back to this one here. Now, why does this go bad? Why is this making it so that... Do I need to clear the Bloom program? I need to, yeah. But even then... What am I doing wrong here? Disable dev test, bind frame buffer. I'm not binding the frame buffer first. Aha. I need a frame buffer. I'm missing one frame buffer. Yeah. Yeah. How do I do this? Let's just copy this and then we keep what we need for Bloom. Bloom frame buffer. Let's begin by creating a Bloom frame buffer ID. Did I really call it Gloom? Bloom? So first we generate one. And then, what is that? Bind it? Yeah. This happened last week, Cakez. If I had a frame buffer class, if you had a frame buffer class, why would I need that? Why would I need a frame buffer class when I can just duplicate some code and see exactly what I need to do every time? I could have a create frame buffer function, yeah, maybe, but it's not really needed. The time it takes me to create that function... Fuck you! We don't need this. Yeah. sRGB, I don't know. And then we bind no frame buffer at all. Okay, let's see if this works. Can you make that orange black instead using the sprite thing? It works. Wait, you mean just like this? Just black? Like this? Like that? Or with the dots here? Fine. There you go. Everything black. Like this. The white eyes also? Okay, I don't know why that is cool, but okay. Sure. There you go. I wanna test something. Okay. Okay, guys. I need to enable this again. We need to use the program and we need to bind the correct frame buffer as well. The Bloom frame buffer. Hopefully this works. Please, man. Moin, hey, Pytois. How's it going, man? Pikachu hi. Good morning, hey, Fikes. How's it going, man? Welcome, sir. Give me that 1 hour hit. Okay. I think this was broken before, right? I have a feeling that it's because of disabling dev testing or blending. Disable dev testing. Enable dev testing. Oh, he got shit on. Bind frame buffer. Use program. Okay, cool. Now we can test in RenderDoc if we have the first chain of Bloom working. If we have, then I'm very happy. Because that is the first step to Bloom. Let's do F12 here. Let's see. Draw arrays 6. That looks... Let's see, what do we have? Texture viewer. We output this. And this. So we start with clear, then we draw all of this. Then we draw the lights. We draw this one right here. We clear. Oh, wow! Frame buffer 0. Look at this. Wait. This is an instance draw call. There's another color pass here. No, wait, this is the light buffer. This is lights. Sorry, I got excited for nothing. Hello, Rafi. I'm at work, so now I'm watching you relax a bit. How are things going with you? Thank you for asking. Things are going good. I decided on what I want to do going on with streaming and making my own game. And I'm very happy that I finally came to a conclusion on how I want to do things. And yeah, it's great. Now I just have to, you know, put in the work. It took a long time to like think how I want to do stuff. $960 times 540. Source texture, output. Look at this, guys. That is actually correct. This is the first MIP chain. It is a blurry version of the original fire. However, I think what is wrong is the, how do you call it? The viewport. And also, how many times does it go through this? It said 1 MIP. And then, oh yeah, this is the next source texture, and then the output is nothing. And then, yeah, there's another source texture, and the output is nothing. Oh, we just need to set the viewport correctly. It works. But we are not setting the viewport correctly. How? Glad to hear it's going well and that you've made a plan for your stream. Yeah, it took a while because I had the Godot game that I was working on, which, you know, granted gave me quite a few viewers, but I wasn't particularly enjoying the instance, so yeah. I'd rather stick with C++ and then do gaming stuff more. And work on my one game. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, guys. This is the issue. So it's probably not UVs. Or? So these are the UVs that I'm setting out, right? UVs. And we can check out the draw call, right? The mesh viewer. Yeah. So this is the output. It is a full screen quad. And the UVs as well. What's the problem? The problem is the following. I start with this input. Right here. Okay, and then this is the input. And then I output this. A cut version of the bottom left. Use triangle strips, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter right now. That optimization can be done later. It's okay. What is more important right now is I just don't understand why it goes from this when it cuts out this part right here. Even though this is the input texture and it's supposed to write to the output texture. Using this weird code. I didn't copy this code. It is this code right here. The downsample bloom. I don't know what it's doing here. Because the output texture is half resolution. Yeah. Viewport matrix. Oh, maybe there's a matrix. Yeah, wait. Let me think here. No. Like, no, it has nothing to do with the matrix. Or the, like, maybe the viewport. We all know your copy, all of your copy. It's not all of my code. Shut the fuck up. So you have to scale the UV by 0.5 or 2. Huh? Why? I don't understand. Every now and then I have to do that as well. And if a day later I forgot why. fine. Let's see. Looks exactly like that. Looks exactly like that, and I saved it. Did you update the source resolution? The source resolution, yeah. I'm updating the source resolution. It is called the source resolution, right? So the resolution of what I'm reading from. Looks like a quarter of the whole thing. Yeah, it is a quarter of the whole thing. Destroy this method, clean up books, receiving handle, texture after bloom. This could, for example, output tone mapping, shader, render performs all it binds, frame buffer renders, downsample, source texture contains. The only missing thing is not private methods. No, not private methods. Both methods, blah, blah, blah. Conclusion. Hä? Ah. So what do we do? Render down samples. We set the source resolution to the viewport size. We bind the source texture. And then we set the viewport size to the MIP size. Okay, so I think what we have to do... I think I figured it out. We need to set the viewport to this +1. Wait. Yeah. Let's try this. You have to update source resolution in the for loop. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. MIP level is the for loop index. What? Error assignment 28. I see. Of course. Let's first try it like this. Does that error only appear in debug output? No. By the way, let me change that back. I think the guy didn't even subscribe. What a liar. Let's close this. Don't need that. Launch. No. Let's see. F12. I pressed F11 and F12 because I fat fingered. Let's do it again. And this time we don't fat finger F12 and F11. Okay, please. F12. Okay, let's see. Let's do F12 again. Now. Oh, it was this. Ooh. Where's the fire? There we go. See that? I think that is supposed to happen. But it's not scaled. I'm a little bit sad. I think. What? Shouldn't it be scaled? Let's look at the result that we see here. Click to start the video. Hey. Bonus material for graphical debugging. So while the bloom effect was working nicely, I was observing some unwanted black boxes in a test application I was working on. Below image shows some black boxes that I definitely not want in my renderer. I open up render doc, yeah, okay. See, like, you know what he is missing from all of this? You know what's missing here? Stop this music? Oh, fine. It's too sad, right? A proof. Proof of what it looks like in the frame buffer. Render a 2D or 3D scene. Show me what the frame buffer in all of the different levels look like. Now, I think I'm doing it correctly, right? Because the game gets more and more, whatever you call it, right? Which means we can add in one more chain in the renderer at the very top. Map levels, let's say we do 5 or 6, right? Let's try that again. Maybe 6 is a bit too much. Germany is a lost state. I'm happy that I moved to Turkey. You're still mad about that, Mr. Almeida? Yeah, that sucks to have to deal with that for sure, yeah. 100%. Okay. Bro, not mad because of the shit. I needed to build a procedure for this garbage. Oh yeah, I didn't export. Okay guys, we have part 1 of Bloom done. Should we do part 2? What are you guys saying? Should we do Bloom fully today? If it works, then we are happy. Kinda wanna do Palworld now. We could do part 2 tomorrow. In some aspect, yes. Yeah, you sound like that. Down samples is done. Up samples is basically the same thing, but with the different textures. GL active texture, bind texture, filter radius. Okay, I want to see how this looks in RenderDoc. Oh no, yeah, actually that's fine. I think that's just because it's so small, right? It's still in the same location. Okay, now we have this. Let's take a look. That's what it looks like. And then over here. Okay. Yeah, 60-33. That is exactly what they have to. Okay, so this is pass bloom. I kind of want to do the rest tomorrow, guys. And play Palworld now. I want to play Palworld now. Well, but so far it wasn't really that difficult. Other than the HDR stuff, which, you know,